Does joining the nuclear sub-alliance called AUKUS undermine our nuclear-free position? Is it okay to call a minister stupid? And why did the Nats vote against a bill which gives dignity to elderly Samoans? There's been a lot of political news this week and a lot to talk to our political panel about. We've got our National Minister Erica Stanford and Labour MP Willie Jackson. Thank you very much for coming in.
Morning.
Let's start with that private members bill that gives dignity to elderly Samoans. Essentially, rights are wrong. Why did the National oppose it?
Look, we don't believe that it's the right place to be looking at such an issue in a members bill. It actually has really far-reaching implications. It's not just for those people, it is for their descendants, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. It has quite wide-ranging implications, not only for us, but also for Samoa, for Australia. And we've always been of the view that this is not the type of bill that you put through a members bill process. It should be something that is considered more widely through government.
Okay, so would you adopt it? Would you adopt it as a government bill?
Look, it's not something we've talked about, but it is a members bill is not the right place to be talking about such a bill.
So as Immigration Minister, how many people are we talking about are affected by this?
This is not an immigration issue, remember, this is Department of Internal Affairs, it's citizenship,
okay.
and that's exactly the point. You make a great point. I don't know, but we know that I think the number of people, the elderly Samoans, I think was about 5,000, but then what that means in terms of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I've not seen those numbers. So again, I think that's why it's something that needs to be considered by a government rather than a members bill. So it's just the wrong process.
Okay, what do you make of that, Willie? Because the ACT Party and New Zealand First voted for it alongside the Labour Party.
I want to congratulate them. I normally give them the boot on this show, but they showed some humanity. I think it's a terrible blight on New Zealand history. Terrible what National and Labour did back in '72, both of them. And as everyone was saying, they found that it was one of the worst examples of racism in terms of New Zealand political history. So both big parties decided to do what they did, despite the Privy Council. You're talking one of the biggest courts in the world saying, hey, Samoans, you have Kiwi status, New Zealand status. So it was just terrible what happened to Samoan people. It was a beautiful night the other night, and I didn't participate in the debate, but I just thought it was wonderful watching the Parliament come together. We should come together for things like that, for issues like that. So I thought it was a wonderful evening. I think National have got some pressure on them now. I hear what the Minister's saying. I understand that in terms of precedent and all that, but I think this very given the fact that it was such a terrible act of disloyalty from the New Zealand government and Labour at the time, that we've got a chance to right this, and I hope we do.
I don't understand the issues that you're talking about. So if we do give them citizenship and it affects their kids and it affects Australia, did you say? Is that because they can then go and live in Australia?
Yeah, well, you've got to remember, as a Minister of Immigration, I'm always very, very cautious about our RSE scheme, for example, because we take a lot of labour out of Samoa, and we need to make sure we're spreading that through the Pacific, because seeing the number of people leaving Samoa is difficult for them because they've got labour shortages too. And so this has implications for people potentially leaving Samoa. That's why it's a government-to-government decision. And as you say, it does have implications for Australia as well. So I think the view from us is quite sensibly that this is a government decision, taking into account those diplomatic relationships, because it does have far-reaching implications.
But if it's a government decision, both your government partners have voted for it. So are they not taking it seriously enough?
No, what I'm saying is it's the process that should be gone through is a government-to-government conversation between us and Samoa, not a private members bill, or a members bill, sorry, which is not the right vehicle. So, look, in terms of the three parties, we have different views on this. It's a members bill, it's not a government bill.
Yep.
They're free to decide to vote how they want, but we've held a long-held view that this should be something that is a government bill, not a members bill.
Willie, yesterday you called Melissa Lee, the Broadcasting Minister, or Media and Information Minister, whatever her title is, you called her stupid. Is that appropriate?
No, probably not. Probably a better description would be hopeless, useless, incompetent. I think those are probably better descriptions, Lloyd, rather than using...
Takes one boot out, put the other one in.
I think so. So I think hopeless, useless, incompetent, like your government in terms of what's happening here. Can I just wish you all the best? I really was saddened. I was saddened because I was thinking, you try and find a way. You know, you don't just say, oh, I just give up. And she showed it's not just Melissa's fault. It's this government's fault. They have made broadcasting no priority. It's not part of the plan. They don't see this place as iconic, which I do. There's such a background, such a history here. I think about the Māori broadcasters who've come out of here, Julian and Mihi and Annabelle, you know, Native Affairs, and you know, the government just does not see it as a priority in terms of what
can they do? I mean,
so I'll tell you what they can do. You know, you got a Prime Minister who prides himself on business. Why don't you try and bring big business together? Why don't you try and look at opportunities with New Zealand On Air? Why don't we just try and keep this alive for a while? You know, I like the spirit of Paddy Gower and the way he's, you know, of course you can't just put straight investment in, but if you're the big businessman, as the Prime Minister says he is, try and pull something together. Look at ways of finding relief, of keeping you guys alive. It's tragic what's happened here. It's tragic because we need alternatives. We need plurality of voices. And that's why my heart goes out to you guys. You know, you guys have done a great job.
Erica, what do you make of Willie's language? You know, useless and then stupid and hopeless. And
she totally supports what I'm saying. You know,
well, let her speak for herself. Let's not mansplain her position.
Well, it's what you would expect from Willie Jackson. It's not unusual, right? That doesn't mean that we should be accepting it. Look, it's a really difficult situation, and as I've said to many people, I sort of feel like a very distant cousin of this family, given how long I've been doing this show for nearly 2 years now, and it is really devastating. But you know, in response to Willie's argument, it's not for the Prime Minister to start meddling in business and bringing people together. He's the Prime Minister of the country. I mean, I don't expect that's his job, but look, it is a very difficult situation. People are viewing media in a very, very different way, and it's happening really, really quickly. So look, it's not an easy solution. Other countries are grappling with the same thing, but you know, look, we all feel for the Newshub family, like I say.
And that's good to hear, but I disagree with Erica. I think Prime Ministers do have a job, a challenge and a job. It is their job to bring people together. And I hear what you're saying in terms of, you know, obviously you don't put a big fund towards it, but you're the Prime Minister, for goodness sake. And why don't you have a look at your options? Maybe New Zealand On Air. Well, how much are we talking about with Newshub? 35 million? 36 million?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, but New Zealand On Air has the money. Like, let's find a way to keep you guys alive, Lloyd.
Yeah. I would love that.
Pull everyone together.
I would love that. I'd love that.
Make me the Prime Minister. Documentary on Jacinda, aren't they? Maybe we should use some of those ones.
She hasn't given the green light for that, so let's be clear on that.
Let's move on anyway. Let's talk about Easter trading, because this comes up every year. It came up this year, but finally Cam Luxton's bill has been pulled from the ballot to overhaul Easter trading laws. What are your positions on this? Let's start with you, Erica.
Sure, I'm going to be really boring. I'm very sorry, but we haven't discussed it as a caucus. I don't even know if it's going to be an individual vote or if it's going to be a whip position. We haven't talked about it. So.
What do your constituents say to you around Easter trading?
Oh, it's varied, actually. Like, some people say to me, look, we'd love these, you know, the shops to be open, and others saying, look, actually, people need a break. And isn't it a nice time where we can all just relax and be with families? Yeah. So, you know, it's mixed.
Because the Prime Minister last year said he'd love to change it. He's like, yep, we'll do that. I'd support that. Because people can, on Easter, I think it's Friday and Easter Sunday, you can buy stuff online. You can do online shopping, but you can't do actual physical shopping. So I think he wants to level the playing field.
Well, it'll be a conversation we'll have at caucus in the coming weeks.
Okay, you're right though. That was a boring answer.
I'm really sorry. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, nothing.
Willie'll have some,
but you know, you've got a totally boring government. I mean, what would you expect?
Oh Lord!
But the reality is this. You know, like I haven't talked with caucus either. But I mean, I hate the idea. Yep. So that's my view.
You hate the idea of Easter trading laws or changing it?
Don't change it.
You don't want to change it?
No. A couple of days for the workers, Lloyd.
Oh, that's right.
No. Why do we all have to, like, get your drinks the night before, you know, like, have a rest.
But why those 2 days, though?
Lloyd, because your National Party roots are coming out on you, or your ACT Party roots.
Well, no, we live in a capitalist society.
Come on. How about the working class? They need a break. They need a rest. Give it a break.
Yeah, but they don't get a break on other public holidays, which are designed to give
should have more public holidays.
Oh, Matt,
Now, come on. You've got to get more
Never mind
socialist.
the economy.
I'm going to have to review my views in terms of reviving this station, I think. Lloyd.
Really? What? Just because I'm questioning your stance on
that's
Easter?
right, absolutely. No, seriously, you know, give people a break. Give them a rest, you know. Like let's just have a break. Like a couple of days a week, a couple of days a year where you can't get a drink. Is that really that bad for Lloyd Burr and the Newshub crew? Come on, mate. Get your act together.
Okay, that's very interesting from you.
Okay.
Yeah, don't cross Willie, otherwise he'll cancel you. There you go.
Oh, that's a bit dictatorial.
Well, that's the path you're going down.
But if anything's stupid, that is. All right.
You've managed to insult a lot of people this morning. I think it might be a new record.
That's what Willie does. It's great, isn't it?
Come on, cut it out.
Very quickly, because we've got 30 seconds here. School attendance fines, the traffic light system, are you going to support that?
Yes, of course. I've been working very closely with David Seymour on this. He is the Associate Minister of Education, and having much better data and having all of the tools in the toolkit. But you have to remember with fines, you know, like it is the tool of last resort. So when we put in resources and assistance for families, but for those who refuse to partake, the resources that are offered to them and some of the interventions, then there has to be a consequence at the end, because if we don't, we've got some big future problems coming down the pipeline.
Something needs to happen, so it's actually quite a good idea. Willie, what do you think?
Can't punish everybody, mate.
It's not everybody. If you listen to my answer.
This is the national government punitive strategy all the time.
How did yours work? 47% of kids going to school regularly. How did it work out for you, Willie?
Give us a chance, Erica.
You had 6 years. That was your chance.
The reality is they always want to whack people. It's always punitive. You got to work with whānau. You got to put in the support, not just punish them, kick them in the guts. That's this National Party. That's Seymour. That's Seymour all over.
It's like he's not even here and not even listening, right?
I won't say it's Erica.
All the support.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. But Seymour wants to kick everyone in the guts, and this sums it all up.
You want everyone, the workers to have holidays, and you want the kids to have holidays too, by the sounds.
I was supporting you at the start of the show, but I'm not sure now.
Oh, come on. It's okay to have difference. Difference makes us richer, Willie. We can disagree, but not...
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what makes the show.
Go and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for coming in. Wonderful, as always, to have you guys here. It's a good debate, that is. Labour MP Willie Jackson and Erica Stanford, the Minister of Immigration and Education Minister as well.